Hi everybody, it's David Waite from Jubilee College here, and I've had another request for hand reflexology, and being as we are just about to enter the month of May, I've had the perfect request. This is actually from one of my students at Jubilee College. Her name is Claire, and she came up with this idea, and I'd completely forgotten about it because May means hay fever season. So today what we're going to do is we're going to do a video for hand reflexology done by yourself for hay fever, and I hope you enjoy it. So let's have a look at a hand chart and discuss the reflexes that we're going to be using for self-help for hay fever. Now, hay fever is of course an immune response to pollen. So the first thing that we're going to be wanting to work is going to be the spleen, which is this light green area just here. Then we're going to be wanting to include as well then the tonsils. Now the tonsils are found at the back of the mouth. The mouth is found on the joint of the thumb. So if I were to just bring my thumb in just here, so basically we would be looking just on the medial aspect, because of course the mouth is in the middle of our face, so medial aspect of the thumb, right on the joint there. So we're then going to be working the throat, the eyes, the nose and the sinuses. These are the areas that are affected by hay fever. So the throat, we're going to be working all the base of the thumb, all around the thumb. The hands, of course, three-dimensional, matching the body, and so we're going to be wanting to work all around here. A lot of people think this is just the neck. No, it's not. The neck is, well, yes, you could call that the spine part of the thumb, but we're going to be looking at this for the throat. We're then going to be wanting to work the eye reflexes. Now the eye reflexes are at the base of the index finger, where we have this purple line just here. So we're going to be working all the way around here, because the eyes, of course, streaming and all the rest of it, so that's not very nice at all. The nose reflex. Now the nose reflex, of course, as we know, the nose is on the face, right in the center of the face, so that means it's going to be on the medial aspect of the thumb. And your guideline for this is going to be, if you see where the base of the thumbnail is, then just roll over onto the side, in line with the base of the thumbnail. That is where the nose reflex is on the hands. Transfer that if you were working on somebody else. Nose reflex would be medial aspect of the big toe, again in line with the base of the big toe nail. Finally, the sinuses, we're going to be working as far as affected areas are concerned. That then is all of the fingers, all the way round, all of the fingers. You can, of course, include the thumb with this, as the thumb represents the whole head. So that is what we're going to be doing for the sinuses. Then hay fever is an inflammation. So we're going to be working the adrenals, which will help combat inflammation. And then we also have a mucus imbalance with hay fever. So we're going to be working the ileocecal valve. So without any further ado, let's get on and get to work with the hands themselves. So the first reflex I want to work is going to be the spleen. So the spleen lies underneath the diaphragm line, which we can see from the crease and the hand just here, and it is in line with zones 5 and 4. Now for this, I'm going to want to get my knuckle in and work nice and firm. We're wanting our spleen to be nicely reminded that this is actually a response it doesn't need to make. Reflexology is not an on nor an off switch. It reminds the body of what it is supposed to do or what it is not supposed to do. And in the instance of hay fever, it is an immune response to something that actually shouldn't be harmful to the body. So we're going to work the spleen. If the spleen is sharp, bruised, not feeling comfortable, then do carry on working it until that sharpness, that bruisiness has worn off. You can, of course, if it is too uncomfortable to work with your knuckle, good thumb rotations. And do remember that even though we're working the hands for a reason here, we're working with the hands for a condition, do take time to pamper yourself. So absolutely have some lovely calming music on, maybe a lovely incense burner, maybe you've got your feet in a foot bath. Make it as relaxing and as gorgeous as you can for yourself. These times we need to treat ourselves, make ourselves feel gorgeous. Okay, so now we're going to work the tonsils. So the tonsils in the mouth, and the mouth is found on the joint of the thumb. So I'm going to work all round the joint of the thumb. Start again. Now then, that's interesting. Yeah, I found something just here, so I'm going to hang on to it. And that's what I would encourage you to do at home. If you find a sore spot, there was a very, very simple instruction from Eunice Ingham, the mother of reflexology. Find the sore spot and rub it out. And we need to remember that even though reflexology has progressed, it has become quite scientific nowadays, the way that it's taught. We need to remember that at its conception, it actually had very, very simple basis. Find the sore spot and rub it out. Now I'm doing a thumb walk here. You don't have to. You could do circles, rubbing over the area, however you choose. And also just what feels right with your gut. If you have a gut feeling about how you want to work this area, you do that. I'm coming over onto the other side. And for this technique, I personally find that thumb walking is the easiest technique for working the thumb. Okay, so now we're going to work the throat. And for this we want to work the entire area all the way round our thumb. And can you see how I'm holding it with thumb and finger? This, I think, you will find the easiest way. So it's literally just a case of then move your hand that you're working round a little bit, move your hand a little bit further round. I'm not going to do it any further because otherwise it wouldn't be a great angle with the camera with my fingers in the way. So I'm going to come like this. bit further round. And you can, if you would like, circles, down a bit further, circles, down a bit further, circles, circles. Okay, rotating my hand a little bit further. Rotation of my hand. Now when you're doing self-reflexology, you know when you've done it right, because of course you are doing it to yourself. So I think that rule that you'll probably have heard of, that if it's a line, and of course we're working a line here the way that we're doing it, you would do it 3 times. With self-reflexology, that rule goes out the window, because you can feel when you've hit the spot. You know when you have cleared that reflex, when it feels back to normal. So you don't need to worry about being ardent with, if it's a line, do it 3 times. All I would say is, work it thoroughly, work it well, and you also don't need to go overboard with pain. Get a positive pressure, but not a pain that you would wince at. So a positive pressure so you can feel that there's something going on. You want to feel the reflex, you want to feel the reaction, you want to note the difference, and when you do feel a difference, stay on that spot, work it out, work away the pain. Okay, bit of rotation. Oh, yeah, I can feel something just under my thumb just here, so I'm going to stay here for a bit. Oh, and it's cleared already. That was quick. So just as a reminder, this is the throat reflex that we're doing at the moment. Now what you can do as well, when you're doing hand reflexology, or any reflexology, is be in the moment. Be mindful of the physical organ that you're working the reflex for. Bring your awareness to that area. Channel your intention to that area. And you can be breathing in healing light if you feel that that would be the appropriate thing to do. Breathing in clear, pure, healing air to that area. Okay, so now we're going to work the eye reflex. Now the eye reflex all around the base of the index fingers. So I'm going to start this point just here, and I'm just going to, oh yeah, I can feel that. In fact, I want to start again. My gut feeling is saying start again, don't rush. Oh yeah, oh yeah, that feels gorgeous. I can feel this lovely, if I can call it a positive pain, a constructive pain. There's it's like the most tender sense of bruising, not tender sense, small sense of bruising. So it's a different sensation to just pressing my thumb on that reflex. There is something else, like a bruise, but it's not ow, ow, ow. It's a case of, oh yeah, give that a good rub. It'll be good for it. And that's what I'm talking about with positive pressure. So we activate the reflexes. We have sent a message to the body, and then the body can do its proper job of healing itself. Okay, so now we're back to where we started. So now we're going to work the other index finger. Actually, I think I'll start just here. I think as I can't twist my hand around anymore, I shall now carry on with my finger until we have done the full circumference of my eye reflex. So now it's time to work the nose. So for position of the nose, if you remember me saying base of the thumbnail, and then you want to work the medial aspect of the thumb. So just press on and then rotate. We don't need to move on this one, we're just working one spot. Now don't be at all surprised if when you're working the nose and when you're working the sinuses, if your nose starts to stream. It's not a bad thing, it's a good thing. It shows that your body is responding to the reflexology and you are clearing. You are getting rid of that extra mucus. And also, you are going to be getting rid of the pollens that have become trapped in your nose by you having a good old stream. It's almost like it's washing it out of the body. So when you're ready, it's then time to work the sinuses themselves. And for this, I like using a plier motion. So I'm going to have my hand fairly flat so you can see what I'm doing. And it's squeeze, 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 squeeze. Very, very simple. And with this, we're then able to work both sides. Now, so that we're being thorough, I'm going to do this a couple of times on the medial and lateral, and I'm just going to turn my hand so that we're working the dorsal and the palmar. If your gut is saying, I want more of this, do more. Listen to your gut, listen to your body. It knows what's right, it knows what you need. Now, can you see that the index finger I'm using, I'm supporting it with my thumb. And with my long middle finger, I've then got these fingers supporting this. So I'm not working like that. I'm working with support here, and I'm working with support here. Otherwise, you are going to hurt your joints just here if you don't have it well supported. Last thing you want to do is to strain. You do not want to injure yourself. Okay, so that was the second line. Let's just do it. And of course, I'm just trying to keep my fingers, my index finger, out of the screenshot so you can see clearly what I'm doing. When you're doing this, just be relaxed. I mean, you'll probably be like this. It doesn't matter. You can feel what you're doing. But I'm just wanting to make sure that you can see how I'm doing it. Okay, ring finger. Let's see if I can keep these fingers out of the screen. Yeah, that looks okay. And then finally, little finger. Or as they say on the other side of the pond, the pinky. And now, of course, we're going to do the same on the other hand. Now this is a different angle I'm showing you here, so that you could see, or hopefully see a bit better, what I meant about supporting that index finger. And you can see how I'm supporting these other fingers as I'm doing this pincer movement. Do not be tempted to rush any of this. This is your time. This is your treatment. This is your good health. So enjoy what you're doing. make the most of it. Now, finally, I'm going to work the thumbs exactly the same way that I work the fingers. As you can see, I could do it a different way so you can see how. There we go. So that's the sinuses done. The next job that we need to work on is going to be our adrenal glands. Now, can you see this line that comes up here? And you can see this line that comes across here, right at the meeting of this line, underneath, pretty much zone 1, but almost sort of into the gap between zone 2. That's where our adrenal is going to be. That's the adrenal reflex. And we can just work it with our finger. And again, we are pointing and circling. So just onto the one spot and circle. Now, if that is uncomfortable on your index finger, then by all means, work it with your thumb. For the health of your working hands and fingers, do try to have a variety of different techniques using both fingers and thumbs, knuckles as well, because if you keep just doing the same thing with the same finger, you're going to get a repetitive strain injury. So do be careful. Do ensure that you mix it up. You keep doing different things, different techniques, different fingers and thumbs. Now finally, on the right hand only, we're going to work the ileocecal valve. And you may be thinking, why on earth are we working the ileocecal valve? As will be located, zone 5, pretty much at the point where the wrist becomes the hand. So we do want to be on the hand. And again, we can circle this. Now, the reason that we're wanting to work the ileocecal valve is twofold. One, for mucus production, because we've got too much of it. And in reflexology, there is a tenet that the ileocecal valve helps control mucus production. But there is another really, really important reason that this should be given plenty of attention. And that is that we have our colon joining the small intestine at the point where the ileocecal valve is. And the ileocecal valve's job is to stop feces from the colon backsliding into the small intestine where you have digestive enzymes, because there is a chemical byproduct that happens if feces get into contact with digestive enzymes, and that chemical byproduct is called histamine. Now, what do you go to the chemists for if you have hay fever? Antihistamines. So if we can stop the body creating its own histamines in the first place, we can massively help combat hay fever by working this reflex. So there we go, we are done. Those are the reflexes that you would be wanting to work to help combat hay fever with reflexology. So I hope you've enjoyed what I have shown you today. I hope it really helps with any of you who are suffering from hay fever. It's a horrible time of year for those of you that do. So I hope that it does give you some relief. I'm just popping up a quick photograph now of my lovely Sheffield class, and thank you once again, Claire, for suggesting even that we do this technique, being as it is the perfect time to learn how to combat hay fever with reflexology. Please do like and subscribe our YouTube channel, and next time we are going to be doing, by request, a reflexology self-treatment on the hands for neck, shoulders and back. See you soon.